The inverted forest is one of the many mysteries of the first Girls Frontline. Developed by Lycoris, God rest his innocent soul, it was one of the predecessors to full-fledged neuroclouds, like the ones in your favorite tactical waifus. It was, as Persicaria said, a, quote, layered space made to simulate neuroclouds from which the templates for second-generation dolls were computed. We don't know much about this. It's only seen in reference in two places, Chapter 11.75, Shattered Connection, and Chapter 12.5, Polarized Light. Of the people we got to see in there, M4A1, AR-15, UMP-45, and of course Miss Dandelion, although at this point she was just the OGAS. The only known location inside of any importance or notice is a replica of the mansion of the Obersteins, being the old mansion where Lunasia grew up. We also know that M4A1 and the Isomers have memories of this place. And that's about most of what we know about the inverted forest. Without much to go on, the rest is speculation and observation. At the very least, we know this is some kind of derivation from Relic Tech, and it exists in a layer aside from level 3. We get 3 images of the inverted forest. One of the Oberstein mansion to be discussed later, one of AR-15 looking up in it, and one of a full landscape of it. Starting with the most characteristic feature, of course, the actual inverted forest. Mainly comprised of a green-yellow canopy suspended by trunks made of bundles of vines, these trees are decorated by mossy vines and saplings growing down from the canopy. Bright white light filters down from above, filtering to a soft yellow as it passes through the canopy and hits the floor, blooming on the dark tiles. A layer of black tile separated by white grout runs along the entire floor, smooth as a mirror and somewhat reflective. A few fallen leaves dot its surface, but most of it is eerily clean, without a blemish. Far off in the distance, a hazy fog occludes the horizon and the endless stretches of forest beyond. Your eyes are always drawn up in the inverted forest, looking skywards at a filled sky. The haze around you is like that of your dreams. You're aware that something must be beyond that, but you can't perceive it until you really get there. There's a sense of liminal endlessness to the scene, and equally a sense of emptiness. But in this case, it's more comforting than anything. Where other liminal spaces have a sense of otherness and exclusion, where other liminal spaces push life away and deny its presence, the inverted forest is inviting. It's peaceful. You could lay down here and look up at the forest above and sleep. Where other liminal spaces offer unseen passages and dark spots, the inverted forest offers wide-sweeping views in all directions and endless light. The inverted forest is always unfamiliar. The way everything is laid out goes against how things ought to work in our mind, and yet it's just close enough to those peaceful ideas of nature and landscape that we can't help but feel relaxed looking at it. The only structure in the entire inverted forest worth noting, and the only place where the terrain changes at all, is of course the Oberstein's mansion. Everything is different here. The entire regularity of the inverted forest morphs around this mansion. The canopy is no longer a regular height, it rises and falls with the inverted trees hanging from the endless ceiling. The species of trees also different, thicker trunks, denser canopies, along with some kind of pine poking out from above. This is also the one place free of the endless tiles. Here, a lawn, overgrown from neglect or apathy, surrounds an equally decaying mansion. Vines and moss have claimed parts of the exterior, and the windows are visibly grimy. This is Lunasia's childhood home. As recognized by M4, this is most likely the mansion that the Obersteins lived in after the father Rudolph's fall from political grace. This is, in many ways, the house that birthed the vengeful and hateful Lunasia that would try to curse humanity. But the design of the mansion isn't really coded in a negative or haunting or evil way. The art is noticeably bluer, of course, and more melancholy, but still you have these bright spots of light that come down, and these remind me of this kind of sense of childlike wonder, of the little spots you remember of your childhood. M4, when she reviews this, reviews it nostalgically. In fact, when she's in the garden at the back of the mansion, her internal dialogue says, and I quote, M4A1 feels a serenity that she has never felt before, as if she has returned to a sunny holiday. She doesn't have to do anything but lie down and bask in the warm sunlight. This peaceful and tranquil moment seems to stretch on for eternity. Granted, some of this was due to trickery from the Isomers merging, but even still it must have been chosen by Lunasia's mind as a place she wanted to return to. Why, after all, merge yourself back somewhere you hated? Quote, to reforge the world into a place with no sin, no darkness, and no violence. Just like my garden, everyone will be plants thriving in sunlight, each vibrant and beautiful in their own way. The inverted forest is Lunagia's paradise. This art inspired me to make Girls Flopline. Now, Girls Flopline has two parts: an explore mode, where you get to run around a 4-bit version of the inverted forest forever, and another part where you can run an endless gauntlet of enemies, as if you're, a fledgling neural cloud being trained in a fire control cord. There's a little Easter egg I've hidden inside, if you want to look. The game is fairly lean. It runs under 100 kilobytes, and it can function as an animated wallpaper for your Windows or Linux machine. I'm sorry, Mac users, but I don't believe any of you exist. And if you want, of course, you can stare at this inverted forest forever, constantly walking along it. I do have a plan to update to a 4K version later on. I am still researching and learning more about leaves and alphas and all that kind of stuff, but right now it was in the immediacy, it was out of my reach. So I hope you enjoy. The HEO link will be down in the description, and thank you for watching this video.